Well, old man Shutdown Schumer just ended his career with this fiasco, and now what is his legacy going to be? You know, these guys, they want to go out riding high, a blaze of glory. They want to be sorely missed. They want their legacy to be everybody loved him so much they hated to see him go. Democrats can't get rid of this fossil fast enough, and by God, they're right. This is not good for Chuck. It's a one way nobody ever wants to wrap up a career. That's 192 years under our Constitution. We never had one single government shutdown. Now we have them every couple of years. They're threatened every time the budget comes up. But there's something people need to remember. This was for a CR, continuing resolution. That means you continue it at the rates that everything was already established. That's how the spending goes ahead until you can reach a deal. They're supposed to write a budget every year and then just run off the budget for the year. They can't do that. And I don't care which party's in charge. That is one of their most basic duties under our Constitution. And they can't do it. Neither party can do it. I tell you, we are not served by these two parties. They become such a dysfunctional mess of political gamesmanship. Neither party functions well. You know, you might like one, you might hate the other, whatever. It doesn't matter. Neither one of them has duties under our Constitution. And they can't do it. Neither party can do it. I tell you, we are not served by these two parties. They become such a dysfunctional mess of political gamesmanship. Neither party functions well. You know, you might like one, you might hate the other, whatever. It doesn't matter. Neither one of them is doing the job. And this was a disgusting display. We could argue till the cows come home about who was right and who was wrong. The fact is, one thing no one's talking about yet, part of the deal for reopening the government was that all the federal workers that were furloughed by Trump get to come back with back pay. Okay, Congress is allowed to have the power of the purse strings. That could affect the pay side of the issue, although that's already budgeted through departments. But they don't have the power under our Constitution, Article 1, Section 8. They don't have the power to rehire workers that Trump furloughed. They have to get him to agree to that. I assume he will do it because he just wants to move on. But remember that might be an issue and it might not. We'll see where that goes. But no, Congress can't hire people that the executive branch fired. They're not the personnel office. The executive branch is. But there's some fallout from this, and it looks to me like the mass casualty out of all this, the chief casualty, is going to be Chuck Schumer, because he was already in so much trouble. This guy has been fighting for his life in the Democrat Party. It's getting to where they want all new people. We've already seen that. They threw away Hillary for Obama. That's when it really started. The new coming age Democrats, the super liberal version. That's where they're headed, and we know they're into all this wacky, progressive, illegal crap. The old guard doesn't fit anymore. They want him gone. I noticed when they had the last State of the Union with Pelosi, she had that bad hip, so she was leaving. You remember? Have you ever been in a church and seen the old 90-year-old lady that has to grab the edge of the pews to get herself back up to her pew? She has to walk from end to end. That's what Pelosi was doing as she left the chambers at the end of the State of the Union speech, and nobody stopped to help her. No one was talking to her. And you could see then that she was finished. They have a lot of power, and they're able to keep their seats for a time. But right now, young Democrats smell blood in the water. They don't want that old man with the glasses hanging off of his chin. They don't want that. And I don't blame them. If I was a young kid, I wouldn't want that either. I didn't like it when I was a kid. It's like I knew damn well them people didn't relate to me or my problems. The young Democrats are so different from the old guard. And Schumer has been stumbling around trying to find his way. He doesn't know what to do. He just wants to appeal to him, and he doesn't realize There is nothing he can do. He isn't going to fit in with those generations that have seized control of the Democrat Party. None of the old timers will. Democrats are really running pretty confused right now because they pretty much created this demographic that they've got because they were so desperate for so many years to plead for support from all these different minority bases. You got the gays, you got the trans, you got the illegals. They tried everything and they created their own mob. All these people did come together under them. But now we've got this political power group no one has ever seen before. They all don't even get along with each other. How are you going to manage a group like this? There's a lot of those people that have nothing in common with each other. They've all got different goals. Somehow they've got to pull this together to move forward. Right now, all they can do is get them all angry at once. But there's nobody in the old crowd that is going to be able to pull this together, because when you bring an old person into a group like that, it's like the creepy old guy that used to hang out at the college bars, hoping some young girl was going to brush up against him while he's sipping his draw beer at the end of the bar. It's creepy. They don't fit in. They have nothing to relate to with the crowd that they have created as their own constituent base. They made a monster they can't even talk to. People don't realize that the reason the shutdown ended was because these Democrats, they got their orders from their donors. I see people in social media say, I'm glad these people had a change of heart. Thank you for doing it. You did the right thing. They don't give a rat's ass about doing the right thing. They got the phone call. It's like, hey, if you want me to continue bundling money for you, you better open this damn government up, because these people, the donors, they have businesses. They have salespeople, representatives, all kinds of business people flying around the country. And those flights are getting screwed up because of this shutdown. They got constituents back home that are mad. Some of these groups are in these minority communities. Some of these groups have a lot of money for various reasons. There's an industry built around the donations. Everybody knows this. When a donor calls these people up and says, we're going to cut you off, you open this now. You're hurting us. They don't care about the country. They don't sit and ponder what's best for my America. No, they're looking at their coffers. You cut off their money, boom, they're going to act. And that's exactly what happened. It went on so long, some of the corporate bundlers were getting hurt. They ordered it to open. Anybody that thinks any different really doesn't realize how it all works. But Schumer is the casualty because he really put all of his political clout into this. He tried real hard. He can't get along with the Democrats. He can't get along with the Republicans. This is a man lost to time. He is roadkill. He's vulture meat. He's circling the drain. This guy's political career is assuming room temperature. It's done. He has nothing that he can brag about as this awful shutdown wrapped up. He came out looking like a fool. They were already after him. He needed to score something big. He brought nothing to the table. He didn't inspire anything. He just went out there and whined every day. Nothing was accomplished. All of those Democrat constituents with the EBT cards, they got their month messed up. And that's just not good for you in the Democrat Party. Now, who is going to replace Schumer? They've already got a problem with trying to replace Jeffries because Jeffries is so stupid, nobody is behind him. He's a male Kamala Harris. The guy can't do anything but stage act. He gets out there and his hands flop all over the place. It's just distracting. But Jeffries is so stupid and ineffective, he's already on the chopping block. They're going to replace him as fast as they can. They've got to find somebody, but that's on the House side. They got a lot more people to pick from. But in the Senate, who's going to be the next new Democrat? I really don't know. I don't have a prediction at this point. But one thing for sure, they cannot be white. They cannot be Christian. If they are gay, that's a plus. They've got to be some sort of minority. They need a gay black guy. That'd run right to the front. Or a woman. But it's not going to be a white guy. That's the one thing you know. Racism is going to exclude that. But Schumer is done. He didn't have any support going in. He was fighting for his life. This is his chance to save his butt. Boom, he's done. He's out. Have you ever seen one of those old Western movies where the old Indian chief, the great warrior that had led them with power for so long, he was starting to wane in his years and all the young bucks were wanting to take over? And the old guy would go out and they'd stake him down in the middle of the prairie right when they were getting ready to have a big fight. And that old guy would stay there strapped to that stake and he would go down fighting and they would leave him alone and just let the man go down so he'd go out like a warrior. He'd go out on his own terms. Well, that's basically what the Democrats just did with Chuck Schumer because you didn't see any young Democrats taking the stage with that guy. Every time he was up there, he had like Hakeem Jeffries or some other old strange people around him. But the young power crowd that runs the Democrat Party, that is all the impetus and fire in the Democrat Party right now, none of them ever appeared with him. Chuck Schumer is isolated. He's the old man staked on the prairie. They put him out there and just let the Republicans swing their war clubs on him. The old chief went down. Unfortunately, he crawled back to the teepee and they haven't finished him off yet, but they're going to do that real soon. They're not listening to him now. Nobody wakes up and thinks, oh my gosh, what great new ideas Chuck Schumer got. Nope, the guy's done. He's toast. He is the one major casualty out of this entire fiasco. Chuck Schumer is the guy that's going to take the fall on this. And that's because of political crap that was already going on inside the Democrat Party. They already wanted him gone. This weakened him even more. This was the kill shot, the coup de grace. The guy's done. See ya, Chuck. He's really in the same position as Pelosi. Yeah, he's still around, but he's relegated to the dustbin. No one's paying attention to him. They don't listen to him. He has no power within the party anymore. They were already going to get rid of him. This closed the deal. And don't think this isn't about money. Remember, they all survive on donors. The young people wanted him to get hurt because they want the money the donors are giving to him right now. Remember that. It's all about who controls the purse inside the party. The young people wanted him to go down. They want the money. They want the donors calling them, not Chuck Schumer. I hope the next time we hear from you is when you get indicted for something. Otherwise, you just go away. Go spend your money. Hell, you got rich in Congress like everybody else does. But we got to wonder who is going to rise up to take his place. We probably won't even recognize the name of the person at this point. It might be somebody we're familiar with, but who do they have? Who do they have that the other people will get behind? Of course, they'll rally together, but after the choice is made, in the meanwhile, there's going to be a big fight. They're really good at hiding their fights. They don't go out and slaughter each other in front of microphones like Republicans do. But then again, we don't know this new crowd. We've never had this demographic. We've never seen it before in the position of power they are now. Who the heck are they? Who is their star? What the heck is coming? It's going to be real interesting. Keep your eyes up. When the young ones start showing up in front of the microphone from the Senate, you know that they're the ones that are in the running. They're the ones that are out there competing. They want to take the old warrior's spot. Yeah, this is going to get interesting because hopefully it's going to be an ugly bloodbath and we can all sit back and laugh and watch it. Meanwhile, there's more than a little bit of work to do to straighten out this mess over here in the Republican side. Thank God the Dems are as weak as they are, because there's a lot of cleanup to do over here with these Republicans. We got to get this right, my friends, and maybe if we do, God will continue to bless this great country of ours. Thanks for listening.